Welcome back to Brett the Comic Novice YouTube channel. I am Brett. I'm a comic novice, and this is issue number 1, I guess, or episode number 1 of DC Comics New 52, and these are all issue number 1s as I go and try to read all of the New 52, or as much as one can maybe stomach. Anyway, these are just some issues that I have of the first ones. I just picked these up at the comic store a couple weeks ago. This is Detective Comics issue number 1, Firestorm, the Nuclear Men issue number 1. Look at that. That is such an awesome cover right there. I have a list of I have 3 different lists for my YouTube channel. I have the 10 out of 10, or the top 5 highest ranked ones out of the New 52 for each month. I will also have a bottom 5 for the worst releases for the month. And I will have the 5 titles that surprised me the most. And I will tell you, out of these 4 number 1s, 3 of these can be found in one of my top 5s. The other one is just an extra one that's probably about, I think, a 6, if memory does serve me right. So one of these is a top 5, one of these is a, surprise me, and one of them is in my bottom 5 of the worst ones. So how did I come to figure out the reading order? Well, I could have done it alphabetically. I could have done it, I was thinking about doing it release date. However, there was a problem with that, and here's another problem that I found out. One of the issues that came up revolving around my New 52 thing was I had no idea when I made this decision and started making my blog posts all about this, that there were actually 52 new titles in the New 52. Yeah, we started off in August of 2011 with Justice League number 1, and then we have all those releases in September 7th, with all of those releases on the next releases in the 14th of September, followed by the 21st, and ending the month of September 28th with all those releases. Perhaps had I known that, and maybe if I done some research before just doing it, I would have known. But had I might not known, I might not have done this. But you know what? I think this is going to be fun. I am looking forward to doing this, especially because some of the things that coming out in DC for the next 2 months of 2021 does not look promising. So how did I come to arrive at the way that I'm going to be consuming/reading these things in a particular order? Well, if it's not alphabetical order and not all number 2s, 3s, and 4s have these things, well, this is how I'm going to be doing it. So first, how I'm going to be reading majority of all these DC comics is through the DC Universe app, or the DC Infinite Universe app, whenever they change that title in, I believe, January 2021. I think the 21st of, I don't know. So here's how I'm going to be reading most of the New 52. I have a playlist on my DC Universe, which is going to be changing its name. I've included all of the ones I know so far, as well as some of the ones I found for in the future. So that's how I'm going to be reading the majority of them. I do have lots of omnibuses. In fact, I just really found out that Grant Morrison's going to have a Action Comics omnibus come out in February, and now I'm kind of curious, should I buy it? Well, I'll explain why. So here's the reading order that I did. I use the Comicron sales figures to go over and read in the order. And the main reason why I did this is I kind of wanted to get a point of either what people were thinking when they were buying stuff, or the popularity of certain things. For example, Justice League number 1 in August 2011 was the number 1 seller, a close second, almost by half. It was Flashpoint. And again, here's one of the things that I find very interesting, not only now, but way back during the New 52 era. So Superman, before they relaunched and did, the New 52, was selling at the 46th most, pulling in about 35 units or so. And then we get into the following month where we have again Superman, and we have Action Comics Superman, which is number 2 most sold, and the title Superman is the 5th most sold. And so then I'm kind of curious about this, so we go forward in time to just before Rebirth. And just before Rebirth, the New 52 is slid all the way down to 38, and Batman, Superman, 34,000 or so units being sold. And why is this important? Well, I know a lot of people are very critical and blame Brian Michael Bendis for the decline of Superman. However, I'm kind of curious, and this is another reason why I'm doing this, is it a gradual progression of sliding? Because let's go into January of 2020, before things went whatever. Superman was the 32nd most sold comic. It was pulling in numbers about 43,000. If we were to go down, down. If we were to go down to the following month, really before everything hit the fan, and it was, again, it slid down to 39,000. So one of the other reasons why I'm doing this is to try to see a gradual progression, not only through Comic-Con sales, but the eventual dropping of titles too, to see if it correlates with certain things. So my top 5, these are in no particular order because they all received the score of 10 out of 10. They were fantastic. My top 5, number 1, Batgirl. Yeah, Batgirl, New 52 Batgirl. I was so impressed with this story. It starts off with this, this man who's just kind of trimming flowers, minding his own business, when out of nowhere, a caped man comes and basically drowns him with his own. I mean, this is horrific. We are in action within the first page of the title, which again is always something that would draw myself and many other people in. We eventually find out that there is a family that is being held. Again, here is Barbara Gordon. She's barely came back from her back surgery, what the demons that she does deal with revolving around the Joker. And then you have the villain of the thing. Not only is the villain killing these people who supposedly should have survived, but is also has a list. Let's see, where is his list? His list has Barbara Gordon on it because, according to his list, she should not have survived her encounter with the Joker. And so he is there to finish the job. And number 2, again, in my top 5, no particular order, Batman. I know of the Court of Owls storyline. I've never read the Court of Owls storyline. I think that this one is super, super strong. I'm very intrigued to find out where this goes. I know where it goes, at least in the animated series or the animated movie for the Court of Owls. But again, this is the introduction to that world, and Bruce Wayne as Batman, obviously. Again, to me, the most puzzling thing that I have is with the Justice League, where most people, Batman is a vigilante, not kind of really wanted by anybody in particular. And to me, the whole reboot of the Justice League just is puzzling. But anyway, I digress. Number 3, again, in my top 5 is The Fury of the Firestorm, the Nuclear Man. This cover is so amazing. And just like Batgirl, we have, here is the first page. Again, these gentlemen are this family is being held hostage in their house, and they basically eventually, fast forward, they kill everybody. because they are trying to find the secrets to the nuclear men. Fast forward to, Texas or something like that, where we have, at least from my understanding, we have Ray, who is going to be one of the Firestorm people. But then we have, oh no, it's Ronnie. Yeah, sorry, it's Ronnie. Why did I say Ray? Oh, Ray Palmer. And then we have this guy who I believe is also the new Firestorm in the most recent DC Legends of Tomorrow. And again, you just have this. The story is set from the very beginning. You have these teenagers who don't mean to be a part of something, but end up being a part of something, and then it ends with this super firestorm. I mean, holy cow! This is like amazing. I love this so much. The fourth in my top 5 is Green Lantern, New Guardians. The main reason why I like this, I did not really, whenever I thought of Green Lantern, I thought of the Ryan Reynolds movie and was not really particularly enthralled or intrigued, especially because it was just like alien policemen, and then a couple of them happen to be from Earth. This is the setup to Kyle Rayner getting his ring. We get the kind of like the Remember origin story of it. But then one of my favorite things about this story, and again, this is where I'm intrigued by this first storyline, is you have the yellow ring owner, and his ring basically leaves him in the middle of the battle, and he ends up dying. And then you have a red lantern, and his ring leaves him in the middle of the battle, and he ends up dying, and so on and so on. And so again, you have all of this, which leads up to a whole bunch of the other lanterns being mad at Kyle Rayner because all of these rings have chosen Kyle Rayner as the new champion of these rings, which is just amazing. Again, I love this so much. Number 5 in my top 5, which there may be 6, Teen Titans. This was such a fun story to read. It's basically the assembling of the Teen Titans team. The art is fantastic. Who did this art? Brett Booth. Oh, I like him. He has a good first name. The art is just amazing. I love the voice that not only Bart has, but we also get Tim Drake, who's now Red Robin, who is trying to help out. This is the one part I didn't like. He's trying to help out Wonder Girl, or whatever her name is, and there we go, Wonder Girl. And even though he helps her out, she still is resentful, resisting all of the stuff that he's doing. But then we get the tease at the very end is that there is a secret project being built, and that is Superboy, which is, from at least from my knowledge from the Titans TV series, half Clark Kent / Superman, half Lex Luthor. So I'm very intrigued with this. And then, even though it's my top 5, number 6 in my top 5 list, I had to throw it in because all these got 10 out of 10, Wonder Woman. I kind of like this one, and it's kind of wrong that and I don't mean wrong as in it's bad, but I have already read the first couple issues of Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman in Rebirth, and so I know that there's parts of this that is the lie. This is amazing. So somebody comes in, this sinister figure comes in, decapitates these horses, and then out sprouts heads and demon body things. This is like, I was on a wild ride the entire time. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to learning more about Wonder Woman because really, besides the Wonder Woman TV show that my dad would watch with, I can't even think of what her name is, that was, I think, recorded in the 70s or whatever, Linda Carter, I think it is. Just I don't know much about Wonder Woman. The most recent movie in 2017 or whenever it came out, that was pretty good. But this storyline about Zeus is after this girl who is one of his daughters, and he needs to, get rid of all of his daughters, his illegitimate daughters, and she goes to Wonder Woman for help. This is a great story. I loved it. So from my top 5, which is my top 6 with this one, is my bottom 5. And number 5 in my bottom 5 is Legion of Superheroes. I hated this story. I'll tell you, I hated this story because of this right here. Let me just change the screen. As we're going along, we get Chameleon Boy, aka blah blah blah. Now, this is the first Legion of Superheroes that I've ever read, but as we're going along, we're sitting here, we're trying to go on this thing, and then we have to pause to learn her name, Phantom Girl, and then her actual real name, and then Ultra Boy and his real name. And so we're going along on this thing, and everything's pacing along. Oh, we need to stop. And Colossal Boy. I hated this story so much. I felt as though it was very, record scratchy. You're sitting there going along, and then, yeah. So number 5, Legion of Superheroes. Number 4, Mr. Terrific. And I hate that I had to put this on here, but I absolutely loved the first part of the Mr. Terrific story. It was action-packed. It kept my interest. Things were just going super amazing. And then, so there's a villain that basically kind of makes people like do things that they kind of don't want to. This guy's at a restaurant, and he's just doing horrible things. And within the first issue of Mr. Terrific, it starts happening at this thing that Mr. Terrific's at. And Mr. Terrific is now turned into a villain at the end of issue number 1. And I just didn't like that. Michael Holt is now the villain in his book. And we just barely got through issue number 1. And that just, no. Number 3 on the worst New 52 stories, Demon Knights. I hated this story so much. Edragon is right. This was the weirdest story. I understand that Edragon is some demon that is connected to a human. He is forced to connect to this one guy. Anyway, fast forward to a long time later. He is married, and his wife hates him, and then he's going to be merciful and help these people, and so then he turns to Edragon, and she goes, "No, please don't." And then he turns to Edragon, and then we find out that Edragon and her are having an affair. It's so stupid. I hated this so much. Number 2 in the worst releases is Stormwatch, and it was like Justice League, but we couldn't even have we had Martian Manhunter. They tried to connect some of the storylines to Justice League. It just didn't work. And number 1, to me, the absolute worst New 52 issue number 1, Superman Action Comics number 1. And that's why I kind of wonder about picking up the omnibus, because we'll see where it goes. But I hated this so much, because first off, all right, if this was the Superman we got, that'd be fine. But we have a T-shirt with some drapes sewn on the back with Levi's that are bulletproof. So already this is weird. And then, so the story takes place where there's this crime boss who is like on the top floor of a penthouse, and obviously something's been going on. And SWAT team comes in to take care of business, and we have Superman holding the crime boss villain guy over the ledge, and he's begging. This guy is begging to be saved. This man is obviously under duress, and so Superman decides with his glowing red eyes, to plummet this guy down a building because he's a bad man. This guy is probably peeing his pants right now. And then so Superman says, nobody's so big that they can taken down a peg or two. I can keep this up as long as you'd like, mister. And he's just like, no, I'm guilty, whatever you say. So now this man's under duress. The SWAT team probably could have gotten him arrested for something, but now because Superman decided to take the law in his own hands, now whatever he says, he confesses to, it's not going to stick. So, I hated this story. Superman is so smug. He's such a dick. And then we have him left off. Oh, he saves. To me, the interesting thing is Lex Luthor and kind of doesn't see Superman as a human. It just like as a thing, and we have him pegged right in between here. And I accidentally already saw the first issue of the issue number 2, the first page of issue number 2, and it looks like Superman's being tortured. And right now I'd be like, I'm all for that torture right now. So those are my bottom 5. So the 5 that surprised me, and these are not like, my below, 10 out of 10. These are the ones that surprised me the most. Number 1, Batman Detective Comics. I think I enjoyed this story a lot more than the Batman by Scott Snyder with the Talon storyline. I felt as though I enjoyed this story a lot more, but I feel as though that the Batman by Scott Snyder is going to be more memorable when I get done with this whole run. We have the Joker just being obviously insane like the Joker, and we end with the Joker having his face taken off by the doll maker. I mean, that just, wow. Number 2 in my list of like most surprised New 52 releases is Swamp Thing, written by Scott Snyder. And this, this disgusted me so bad. Right now we have the guy who plays who is Swamp Thing is not currently Swamp Thing, but somebody else is Swamp Thing. However, he's building a house. Superman comes by to talk to him. Anyway, fast forward to... this part grossed me out right here. So we have... I don't know I can't remember. But this evil death entity type thing is releasing these bees or flies, stings this guy, and it forces his head to his neck to break and his head to turn around, facing the wrong direction. He gets in, and I don't know if just his presence does it or, these people are getting bitten, and it's happening to them too. They're building some sort of army of backwards headed people. This is amazing. My mouth dropped open when I read this. I'm very excited for issue number 2. Next, third thing that surprised me the most, Hawk and Dove. And the main reason why I say it surprised me the most is I hated Hawk and Dove in the Titans TV series. I found them... they didn't have any powers. They were Batman that was less skilled and just like Punch and Judy. Let's just punch. And this story kind of builds background, and it is also drawn amazingly well. In fact, I was trying to see if I could find like a trade paperback of this. So I really enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to the couple, Hawk and Dove, because Dove was his brother and he died, and so she took over as Dove, and there's anger and stuff like that. I'm really intrigued to find out what's going to go on with this one. Number 4, Voodoo, and it's not what you think. She starts off as a stripper. However, that's not the appeal to the whole thing, but it is the story that happens with a supposed FBI agent. And you have that storyline where this FBI agent or police officer comes. I can't remember. And he's trying to, I think, investigate her. She turns into this thing, kills him right there. And then she turns into this guy. Oh, wow. Yes. I'm very excited for this. What's going on? I have no idea. And number 5, the most thing that surprised me the most was DC Universe presents Dead Man. I had no idea who Dead Man was. I know he was part of the Justice League Dark, which I'm not a huge fan of Justice League Dark, but I love the sympathy that they portray him as. I love just learning more about his character. I was really intrigued by Dead Man, and I don't feel as though I've gotten that with Justice League Dark. So those are my top 5, bottom 5, and the 5 that most surprised me. And then I will roll a list of all of my rankings of all New 52 issue number 1s from 1. And again, some of them will be not enough, just in order of them. Yeah. Anyway, enjoy the show. I hope you've enjoyed it. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Did I miss anything? Am I incorrect on anything? Let me know. I'm really intrigued for issues number 2 and beyond. Well, at least on some of them. Some of them, I'm really glad that I know that some of them are not sticking around for much longer. I mean, I liked Blue Beetle, but some of them I was just like, oh yeah, look at that. I haven't even gotten to Dial H yet because it hasn't come out yet. So Hawk and Dove, only 6 issues. That's a shame. All right, so here is my all 52 ratings.